right. So, here we are again. March 31st, 2019. Daily candle close. And what's super exciting is tomorrow, candle close is the weekly candle close, the quarterly candle close, and the monthly candle close. And of course, the daily and the 12 hour and the 6 hour and the 4 hour and the 1 hour and all those other things. As always, so let me fix the date here because that's wrong. And we don't want to mislead anybody into thinking that it's the 31st when it's really not. It's not the 31st, it's the 30th. So let's start that over and say March 30th, 2019, daily candle close. We are on a little bit on the early side. Well, not really. It's 20 minutes to the candle close, so that's good. Again, it'll probably be a fairly short stream. We'll bring into the candle close, and then we'll take a look at some charts, see what's shaking, what's moving in the markets today, yada, 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 all that fun stuff. Snow, good morning. Good morning. So, yeah, let's pull up. Let's do it. Here we go. G-Byte. G-Byte. This is the wrong chart. All right, that's fine. G-Byte. There's the right chart. There we go. All right, so it looks like we double topped out. Very nice. Expect to push down to the bottom again. Probably hit this zone one more time, I would think. This is the 4-hour chart. So this was a very nice level that we got. We got a good reaction on. Pushed through it, right? Pushed up. We got right to the top of our trend / pattern all at the same time. So look at that. That's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. We wanted a reaction. We got a reaction. We were not able to break through it, which is A-okay. No worries. All right. Looks like, yeah, we had a nice run up. Next day, that's our current day right here. Had a nice reaction right here. Big push down. But overall, this is looking pretty good. Now, if we were ping-ponging the pattern, we'd be looking at it to come all the way back down to the bottom pattern over here. Now, if we saw this last move, it did not go like here and here. Neither one went all the way back down to that bottom trend. They found support up above it. And in fact, it kind of looks like it might be working on a new trend right here. Well, no, not really. I mean, kind of. But you're sort of smashing through that candle right there. But if this was just an area to consider, that's something to think about. As far as reactions, if it does come all the way back down, I could definitely see that. This is a good push up, rejection down, good push up again, right? Expect another reaction unless we're able to muster up enough, something similar to this or this, able to push all the way up, break through the channel, right? This red line here, and break through the pattern, which is also horizontal support resistance at the same time. So we'll have to give that a little bit of time to mature, but looks like in the current, I would expect that to continue down and at least find a reaction down here around the 102 zone. So overall, not bad. Things to consider. It's certainly just doing its thing. It's doing its thing. Very nice. Wallbanger, what's going on? DLT or SNT, Raven BTG. Let's take a look at, what is that? DLT? DLT. Sounds like something I want to eat. DLT. Let's see what we got here. Okay. DLT pushed out of this range a long time ago, back in December. Had a nice big move up, good pullback. made another higher high, since lost it, been ranging out ever since. So there's not too much going on here. Let's see. Well, we got some levels to look at. Let's see what we got here. I don't really need the bottom level right now. We could take this kind of like that swing level. Take that level. And probably take that level. Something like that. And we can come up here. Alright, that's good. Alright, let's see. Overall, bigger picture. What are we looking at? Let's see here. Something similar to that. Let me see if we got this actually on. There we go. Locked it in. So we did hit the 2-3 from the larger move. Okay. Now, I'm more interested in this current move. So we take the bottom area. Don't worry about this junk. Just take the bottom from the move to the top of the move. So on the larger move, full support on the 618. Only broke down a little bit. Tried the 7, didn't quite hit it. But mostly ping pong in the 618 and the 5. Looks like today you finally have support on the 5. It'd be the first time flipping from there. A little bit too soon to be saying this is coming back up to this 5,000 level. But we are, we are making, it's okay. We are making a little bit of a tiny little uptrend here, little micro uptrend. Got your low, you got your higher low, you got your high, you got your higher high. But that being said, this pullback is healthy. It's a good pullback. Not a 618, but just not a whole lot of movement right here. Not much going on. And I mean, you're painting. I guess we'll throw up like the 4 hour and see and get that pattern out a little bit better. So something like this would be a nice pennant or a little bit of a breakout play if you're going to do something similar to, let's see here. Probably want to do this. Something like that. Ish. Ballpark. All right. Way too big to call that any type of bull pennant, so it's just a symmetrical triangle. And that being said, a lot of interest on the lower side of it. All of the trading's on the lower side and just a couple attempts on the high side. So nothing strictly, amazing here. I guess if you were to do this, probably be a little bit more realistic and play the actual candle closes on this particular pattern, because there's just so many of these crazy wicks on this particular asset. So something like that, if you're going to play off the 4 hour chart and sort of ignore all the wicks, then this isn't too bad right here. That's a decent pop-up out. Not much of a retest, but possibly a little bit of a retest right here. So this is a little bit better. These wicks are just like pretty dramatic. So we could hit the hourly chart and maybe get a better view here. There you go. There's your little retest. So you see an attempt, right? That's nothing. This is an attempt. It's a false breakout, another false breakout, and then you have this right here. That's your little baby retest, and then a push up with a little pullback. So overall, I mean, as far as trend is concerned, sure, this is in an uptrend, a little bit of a breakout play. You're going to need 1, 2. So you would want to get past this level. Clearly you did, but then you lost it. No support here. It would have been nice to at least have support right here. Didn't get it. So now it's going to be resistance still. Coming back up to it. These levels over here. So yeah, just on this one move, if we just did just this one move right here, so if we were coming down and then over, just like that. Alright. Pull down to the 709. You actually touched on 786. So 786, you rode the 709. Of course, you tried the 382 over and over and over again. You eventually got support on the 618. 618 ping pong back and forth between the 5 and the 6. Lost it, came back, got the 5, pushed up, false break after the 382. Expect this to either find support just under where it's at right now, somewhere around 3007. Structure high just on the hourly chart, or come back down to the 5, find support, and push back up to the 382. So eventually this thing does want to come back up. It's just a very, very, very slow ride to get there. Volume is increasingly getting lower and lower and lower and lower. So there's not overly too much to talk about on this particular coin. RSI, we are losing, right? Lower highs right here. You got higher. Do we have higher highs? I guess technically no, based off that wick. So that's too bad. Yeah, that's about it. That's about it. What do you got now? SNT you wanted as well, right? SNT. SNT. Status. All right, status. Top of range. Top of range. Okay. Yeah. Still nothing doing on this one. We're making a run. We're making a run at range. That's cool. That's kind of about it. Let's see, from bottom to top, you're looking at 18%. Closing right now around 13 of that particular move. Much lower than the previous attempt. This little wick over here. You did have a drop down, bottom out, push up, fail, find support, push back, and now the second attempt. So it's good as far as the attempt is concerned. It's not a whole lot happening here. This could be a good ABCD. Let's see, A, B. Yeah, I mean, it's all right. Should be up a little higher. Somewhere in that ballpark. 184 ish, something like that. Didn't quite hit it, but that's okay. Let's check this current move right here. So bottom, sideways, push up. All right, let's check this right here. Came all the way down to the 886, but the original pull looks like 618 support, tap down 709, good push down to 886, flip back and forth 618 up to the 5. First attempt at 382, pushed through it, got knocked down to it. Next day push up, full retrace back earlier today. Pulled back down to the 236. So it is showing some examples of trying to make the attempt. I would be waiting for this to push out. I would like to see this move out, back, and I would like to see it break this level. Okay, so something like that, possibly even a little higher. You know, maybe up to this candle. That'll at least get indication that we're at a good spot based off of this right here. Okay, So this is okay if this is what it does. Just any sort of push up out of range and then a retest down. Now we have to double check our range. Is it in a good spot? Based off of this candle, I'd say yeah. These candles are all attempts. They're all failures. So that's good too. We could probably drop the range down kind of where the cursor is right now. A little bit more body height and a little less wick. But we're going to leave it. We're going to leave it right where it is. It's fine. This is what I would like to see. I don't necessarily know that we're going to see it, but volume is on our side, at least to go upward from here. So we will have to keep our eye on this one. This is one to keep an eye on. Not much to do with it right now unless you were a really aggressive trader and wanted to try to front run a trend, get in a little early. But overall, something to keep an eye on for later, for sure. Let's see. Raven, BTG, DLT all green on 3-day. Very nice. Very nice. Bad Andy, what's up? Miguel, what's up? All right. Let's see. So what do we got? Raven? Raven. Let's take a look at Raven. What do we got time-wise? We got 5 minutes. Raven, BTC. All right, so Raven, BTC, looking okay here. Yeah, we got a little tap down on the 423. It's fine. Found support, push up. Not able to reclaim the drop from 2 days ago. So it's something to consider. But we do have the same type of pattern being built a few days ago. No big deal. Push up, a little bit of a drop down, push up again, a little bit of a drop down. Imagine another push up on this candle here. If we do, continue with that particular trend. Something to consider though, we haven't been able to flip this trend. I think now it's probably a good time to turn it red. We haven't been able to flip that trend yet, which is concerning. A little bit. It's a little bit concerning. So let's try to get this guy up here. Not a great trend. We'll leave it for now. Kind of like a rising wedge. So if that's the case, expect more resistance the next time we come to it again. When we're able to push up out of it and find support on it and flip it properly, then we'll be in some good shape. Do have to consider this right here. Volume is going down. Price is going up. Okay, volume down, price up. You've got divergence. Usually this will mean a slowdown in trend, exhaustion, or possible reversal. So that is something to seriously consider. This thing has really run a pretty good course. All things considered, 535%. That's pretty bananas. Did lose previous structure highs right here. That would have been this level. Okay. So all this since February 24th, right? So a month. That's it. A month of trading, right? 500 and something percent. So think about that, and it's going to need to, rest a little bit. Now, the last time price went down, volume went down, okay, like that, price went down with it, found its actual pullback, which was nice because this was the buy zone, right, and then pushed all the way up to its current high until we started getting volume drop out again. So volume dropping down now, price going up. So something to consider that this could be getting exhausted. And let's see. We did have RSI. RSI is trending lower highs, lower highs. All right. So again, you push down out of here and you drop back low. Now this is your swing failure play. So the aggressive traders would be out of this trade when you cross the 70 again. The conservative ones will wait until you actually cross the low. All right. So, yeah, Raven, Ravens still in an uptrend, but it's got some issues. It's got some issues. So keep that in mind and, you know, play safe. Now, for the daily candle close, we are 20 seconds away from this big giant doji right here. Look at that guy. Look at that candle. It's ridiculous. All right, so we're going to let that thing close out, but I want to measure this real quick. Let's see what we got going on here. So 2.7% traded, you know, top to bottom. And let's see, we just closed at 0.05%. $2. All right, so we opened at, whoa, how about that? All right, so we opened at 40.86. We had a high of 41.29, which irks me for two reasons. We hit a low of 40.21. We closed at 40.88. All right, so just $2 difference right here. We've already traded in the first 40 seconds more than we did the entire body of the closed out candle, which is ridiculous. So clearly we got some volume coming in. We got some buying coming in just right off the bat. We could pull up a 5-minute, just take a look. See if we see anything that's interesting here. Yeah, I mean, definitely some buying. Trend is certainly up. 5-minute chart, it's pretty good. Got a nice move up, good push down, another move up. All right, this is your downtrend here. Price reverses, come back, failed to make another high, pulled down a little bit, pushed up, broke the previous high. Now you're attempting to break this previous high right here, 40.93. So if this candle does, or at least the next few candles do before it reverses price again, then it's a good sign overall. But we'll see. That this is not overly, not massive stuff going on. It's okay. It's all right. Nothing crazy. As far as the 4 hours concerned, we did have like a new little channel that we got here. That's this guy. So ride in that channel, break out of the channel, sideways again, new range, and then we came down, found support on that same trend, right on that same channel. And again, now we're just starting to push up again, so it's okay. The last few hours have been bullish, finding support on that trend, which is good. And then again, the overall daily chart, of course, is just a monster doji. Massive indecision on the bigger scale. We're riding that whole channel, right? This whole channel right here, the big one. Riding that channel, still trying to get a close over 41.11, and then again a push all the way up over 41.92. We have broken this trend, which was nice, and that's your retest right here. So you did break, close above, come down, retest, push back up again. And that's exactly what we're doing. So on any other coin or any other asset, we would be pretty good about this, especially breaking previous structure highs. So as far as trends are concerned, we're still in, an uptrend. Local uptrend. Let's get rid of all the junk for a second. And, it's pretty clear. You have just in this area right here, right, you got higher highs, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So, I mean, all that being said, you do have major areas of resistance coming up. It was knocked down earlier today from both. But, it's doing something, right? It's making its moves. It's making its presence known. Look at the larger picture. You see your low, right? You see your higher high, your higher low, your lower high. So this whole thing is a big swing failure. So you come up here and you get this line right here and you trade over that line, and now all of a sudden you got something going on there. So those two lines, if we're able to do that with the swing failure line, would be this guy here. And we'd come there. right? So this would be a target area to look for a massive swing failure. And, you know, we are approaching it. We have a ways to go. If we were to hit that today, you'd be looking at 41.44 being the level of rejection. And that is to say that you get over this little current mini micro trend right here. All right, so that is Bitcoin in a nutshell on the daily chart. Tomorrow, very exciting. Tomorrow is the daily candle close, weekly candle close, monthly candle close, and the quarterly candle close. It's the 4-banger, and that's awesome. Very cool stuff tomorrow. Yes. So be there, be square. Whatever you got to do, we're going to do it. We're going to talk about it. It's going to be great. And that's it. Yeah. All right. So now I know I missed a few here. So let's go back. We were going to do BTG. Let's take a look at BTG. Oh, all right. So we got a failure to the downside. We had an ascending triangle. This is actually pretty textbook. Very nice. So came up, ascending triangle, flat top, right? Broke through. Broke over here, failed low, dropped down, push, retest, snap back. And now you're in your local down like that. All right, so see what we got. We crossed over the 50 line. Kind of came back, tried to do a little bit of a retest on the 50. Couldn't quite make it, 48. So still bearish on here. But, yeah. So overall bearish for sure. We're doing that. And we could do this. All right, just give you an idea of what's moving. We are under the 50 line, so you know, bias is already a little bit bearish. Bigger picture does show a few things here. As far as levels are concerned, this level would have been nice. All right, so this level right here, let's paint that on our little picture. So if we come down to that level, that's okay. All right, as far as pivot points are concerned, this would be a nice little pivot point. Swing back, major high, come down, made a lower low, right? Broke through, made a lower low, which is a double bottom. Come back up, right? You got taken out previous structure lows, and now you're starting to swing back down again. So how far do we go? Well, right here, you got some lows that we found support on currently. I'll zoom in on a minute so you can see that. If we continue to go down, you want to look at previous structure highs right here where it came from, and then that'll bode nicely to these levels right back down here. But currently we did find support. We saw that from a distance. So this 382 level off of whatever this even was, not 100% sure. We're going to have to adjust that in a minute. So we could do something like that. Make a little bit more sense. Okay. So come back down for this. So you got support at the 5, just almost support at the 5 right here. Riding the trend up, that's part of the pattern. Riding the trend up, part of the pattern. Came down, and when you drop, you found support again on the 5. So this zone right here is good. Right now you got rejection at the 382. So you're doing like a little bit of a ping pong action here. So you're just gonna have to hold on one second. Let's get that, clean it up a little bit. All right, there we go. Any other trend, right? Break of trend, retest, push down. Yeah, I mean that's what you're looking for. So, you know, generally we're looking for it to go the other way. But you know, if you can short it, then you would want to short it. If you can't, then you want to be out of it. That's all. Wait till something changes, works its way up, and then you can get in on an uptrend play or a breakout play or a retest play. But as long as we're finding support on the 5, I'm okay with only coming down to the 5, slowly working our way back over here. But now you do need to break this level. First, you got to come back to the pattern. So 33.84 you got to get back to. And then on top of that, you're going to have to break this 35.79. So it'll be a little bit of a struggle to get back up in that zone. But currently speaking right now, it is dropping down. I would keep an eye on this RSI. It's a decent indicator to tell you break through this bottom line here, right? Then it's sort of like all bets are off temporarily. And you got to wait for this thing to cool down, catch its breath before you do anything more with it. That's BTG. BTC. All right, let's see. Wallbanger, you are very welcome. No problem. Scarneck, have a great weekend. Thank you. You too. Knowles. All right, Hector, we will do Knowles. Could Knowles hit 40%? And what do we got? Waves? Snow, you're very welcome. Knowles. Could Knowles hit 40%? Oh, hold on. Let's see what you are talking about here. All right, so Knowles, Fat Finger. This is Knowles Ethereum, so let's get out of here. Let's do Knowles BTC. And no Fat Finger over here. Okay. So, Knowles, this is fine. This is good. Buy-in target area was down here based off this pullback. Good move. Pushed up. Right, got the 1618, found resistance, and currently still on resistance. So that's okay. This is all right. That would have been first profit target area, 1618. Second profit target area is 24010. So are you saying, can it hit 40%? I would imagine it already did. It hit 103%. So 103% from the bottom of the move up from this buy order. Where do we tag it? Right here. So if you sold right now, you'd be at 27%. If you sold the top, you'd be at 40%. If you get to the 2.6, you're at 57. But this line right here, you should find a reaction on. That's 48%. That's the 236 global, right? So on the larger scale, 236, right? All-time high down to current local bottom. That would be a nice target area, that 236 zone. So all that being said, that would be the next target area for me. So Knowles is looking okay. We got a little bit of a channel here, not too much, but it is like it's more like a rising wedge than anything else. I guess we could draw that in here. So something like that, and sort of like this. Okay, so again, like a little bit of a rising wedge. Does seem to work out. That we got a little resistance right here, but it's also the 1618. So expect resistance at the 1618. Expected to come down. Possible previous structure highs. So you'd be looking in this ballpark right here. So maybe into the 17,575 zone before working its way back up. Now this pattern forces it, right, to elongate itself. In other words, the candles are going to get much smaller and smaller and smaller. I would imagine that it's not going to hold this pattern. It'll eventually break out on either side. Currently in trend, it should break out to the upside. Maybe find resistance at the 2.6 or the 2.3. Come down for a retest and then push back up for possibly the 3.618 or the 4.23. That's what I'd be looking at for Knowles. Waves. Let's take a look at waves. All right, so waves, BTC. Oh yeah, we did some things here. Ah yeah. All right, I'll use this for the video. Nice. All right. Anyway, that being said, what are we looking at here? Range trading. For what? All right. So I would. All right. So this level right here is kind of a big deal. Let's take that, come down, and I don't know if I want to capture that crap down there. I mean, more like, well, I guess that's not fair. It's gonna have to be something like that. So let's make that orange. That's what we've been using for range. Okay. So on the daily chart, we're ranged out just under 100 days. Looks like 90 days of being in range. Probably got two different ranges here if we really look at it. This level, this bottom level of range, sort of like that top zone. It's kind of more like that. A little false breakout, one attempt, failed, came down, found support, pushed up again, failed. Come down, find support, pushed up again, failed, came down, found support. All right, so I got nothing. You know, there's nothing happening right here. If anything, we're trending down. Okay, so you got a little bit of a trend here. Okay. Little trend, trending down. You got a little bit of a channel down here. Something similar to that. Yep. Imagine you're going to maintain support on the 6792 line. And if you're able to push out of this little baby range, you are still in this much larger range. That being said, you do have some levels in here that you could be certainly making some gains on if you're range trading. Let's see. We'd be looking at, yeah, targets at 10%, 17%, 22%. These are all very, very worth it. So, you know, if you are a range trader, then you would be targeting, this is your support line. Down here, it's held many times. Secondary support line would push down to bottom 6595 area, which was tested twice, and swing back up. You know, you could get a level around 7907. This area right here, the failed top, the failed push up after the retrace, that brought you your lower low. So that's a level to look at. This is a level to look at, 8157, and then you, of course, you have top of range, which I guess, I mean, I don't know, I guess we could do like that. Yeah, something like that. All right. All right, and what do we got? Poly BTC or Bad Andy? Poly BTC. All right, Poly BTC on the larger scale, still clearly down. That's okay. Do have a couple moves up. Very nice. We're able to pick this buy up over here, so that's good. Let's see. So, you know, we had a nice trend here. Good push up, good pullback, good push up, good pullback. This one's a little bit lower, a little dramatic over here, but that's fine. Good push up and a much larger pullback. So this particular move right here is probably worth doing one of these on, seeing where it did pull down to. Let's get rid of this for now. Just take a look at that. Looks like 709 was temporary support. Let's see. Yeah, 709 was temporary support. Tried to hit the 78, couldn't quite make it. Did push and find support at 709 again. That's currently where we're at. Now, I'm not sure what the profit targets were over here. So we should probably set those up. All right, so 2251 ballpark area. 2254 is fine. So the 1.6 and the 2.6 were both hit off of this Target zone area right there. That's good. Creeped about halfway from the 2.6 to the 3.6. That's fine. Much larger zone right here. It's yeah, larger trend looking to flip support to resistance if we do get up into that zone again. I'd like to see what the global is on here. I'm going to say it's between the 2.6 and the 1.6, but let's check it out. Yeah, 2.3 is between the 1 and the 1.6. Look at that. Interesting. Very interesting. Let me at least get one of the right wicks here. Okay. All right, so let's see. We absolutely hit it, of course, but do we find support on it? Not really. Sort of lands in no man's land over here. I mean, you got the trend that's acting more of support than the 2.36. So that's a little interesting. I would have thought that would have held a little bit better. Not so much, but that's fine too. Okay, so that's all right. From the 2.6, it did hit the 3.82 and just about hit the 5. So that's one hell of a push right here. That's incredible. Almost up to the 38.01. Down starting 21.52 only last month. So how's that for a month, right? 75%. That's great. That's great. All right, so we did have a partial trend here. We did break it to the downside, came back, but it was good. Fixed itself, pushed up. Broke back down again. Not lower than this current low, so at least that's something to consider. This right here. Okay. So RSI comes down and breaks this level, then we got to start thinking about something. But if it does find support on that level, which would be great, I'd imagine it's going to find support on the 50, if anything, and then probably push for another round here. Okay, something like this, push back up. So I'd expect to find a little bit support, a bit more support, be nice. Coming back down to the 1 though is okay. Kind of did, but you know, it kind of flash crashed right through it. So it's a heavy retrace, but for all intents and purposes, really not all that bad. Something to consider, finding support in this zone, right? Previous structure highs, good push down, and then able to push back up through that 236 zone. Now you got to struggle with the 1618 and the 2618 and get yourself all the way up. 3618 area, which is above the 5 and the 382. All right, so there's a lot going on Poly BTC right now. Lots happening. Lots happening. AGI. Man, you're doing it so calm, better than 95% out there. Thanks, Gene. We keep him calm. Daily dose of G-Byte usually does. Yeah. The daily dose of G-Byte really does sort of set the tone. That's for sure. Wallbanger's looking for AGI. AGI. Let's see. AGI. Oh, Singularity. Okay. I don't think I'm ever going to associate AGI with Singularity. All right. I do remember when we did this, and I feel like you guys were calling me crazy. And I didn't appreciate that, but it's okay, and I totally understood it. Now, look. Here's our mega range. Right now, this one's actually a lot less. This is 40 days in range. We did push all the way up. We made this big, huge move, right? 19% move, 10% move, so 30 plus another 4, so 35-something% move. Closed, right? We did go higher. All within 1, 2, 3 days, which is great. And I wanted this. I wanted to come back and test range. And we got it, though. We did get it, which is very nice. Unfortunately, we did get it, and we want to go up from here. However, it did go sideways and then down. So there's that to consider. All that being said, we wouldn't be stopped out on this trade until underneath this candle. This is the candle that pushed up, right? So this is the candle that got you the high. So this candle is that's your swing candle, right? So this is your swing low. Technically, I guess that's your swing low. And then from here you had reversal, right? That's when price changed. We looked for a pullback, which is good. We got it. Unfortunately, it continued to go down. So that's why we have stop losses. But for this situation, our stop loss, you could do two things, right? You could put a stop underneath that candle body. Let me put this on here for you. So you could do a stop loss here. You can do a stop loss here. All right. Either one of those is fine, right? I mean, and then you got just position your buy-in so that, if you do get tapped, you only get tapped for 2% or so of your thing. Now, strong support, which we got. So again, I'm not overly concerned here. Now, if we took the bottom to the top, I'd imagine this right here is probably either the 786 or the 886. But let's take a look for sure. So let's say a bottom, right to top. Well, it's just ballpark anyway. So 786 is right here. So that's fine. That's a good, what did we buy? We bought the 618 in confluence with range top. Right, so this is our comeback retest range off a breakout play. Right, that's fine. Came down, tested, blasted through to 709, and then tested the 786 to instantly find support. And we have buying coming in today. I'm cool. I got no problem with this. I stand by the original analysis. Be looking at somewhere around 55%, targeting the 1618. This is okay. It doesn't look okay. But it's okay. All right. You have to decide when you want to get out of this trade. When you start getting nervous that the trade is running away from you, that means you didn't set your stops properly. All right. So if you put in too much capital as your buy-in, because if you get stopped out on this trade and it only takes 2% of your capital, that's nothing to be getting super nervous about. 2% of your capital and you live to trade another day. That's no problem. If you get stopped out and it takes 40% of your capital, well, that means you did not use proper risk management and you put far too much into that trade. So that it's something to, consider moving forward. And that's why a lot of people will journal their trades, and write things down. Why did they take the trade? What was their target? What was their entry? What is their stop loss? And that helps people moving forward on future trades. Now, I will say this volume is not good. This is terrible volume. But I will say this. Volume being super low like this while you're going down is actually a bullish sign, right? So very little people are interested in selling at these levels. More people want to buy, okay? More people want to buy than sell. Very little interest in selling. Now, the chart itself has very little volume, period. Okay, you had a couple little periods right here where volume was exciting. Right, but overall, I mean, dead. What is this? Yeah, singularity. Overall, fairly dead. So we do have major levels of resistance coming up. All right, and major levels of support. All the aqua lines are historical levels. So we can see we found it's kind of like a perfect trade right here. What happened before we got into it is this right here. Right, you came down, right? You ended up getting that push, that little lift off right here on a historical, which is nice. you know, technically you came down here and you found buying. Momentum picked up. You push all the way up through this level, right, and get stopped out just above this other historical to only come down and find support perfectly on your middle horizontal right here, right? That's great. That's excellent. But it did come down further like we wanted to. We got the top of range. We bought it. No problem. Came up a little bit. We were excited. Not so much. Sideways. Came down. Retest range again. Push back up. Failed. And now we came down, right? Came down to another horizontal support resistance. This time we did find support. Push back up. So I'm okay with this. I am okay with this. Still targeting this. 1937. And, you know, probably front run it a little bit. Maybe 1915 ballpark area. Something like that. Something like that. All right. All right, so what do we got? 7:30. All right, we'll do, let's take a look at this guy right here. And, let's see. So Wabi just turned. That 5 minute was light green earlier. So Wabi just turned. Let's pull that up. 27.12. So a good move up. Very, very, very tiny little pullback. This is clearly still in trend. So let's take a look at Wabi BTC. See what we got going on here. So that was probably, yeah, okay. So that's a 4-hour chart. So overall good. We came into Wabi back here. I guess here. Oh, jeez. We came into Wabi a lot. All right, so let's see. What did we do here? Hi, yeah. All right, so the bigger picture. The bigger picture. Okay, so we were ranged for 230 days. Now, this is a very large range. You could break this range area down several times. Got a little range right here. You got a little range right here, which probably coincides with this range right here. Kind of have like an upper range, which is more of a channel. And then you have this lower little breakout, false breakout range. But nonetheless, right, this was our line. That's our flip line, right? So from support, 1, 2, 3, 4, support, flipped to resistance, 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 okay? So that's why this trend line is important. That's our flip line, which is good. Broke out of range. This is a nice retest right here. Broke out of range. Came back, failed to do a real retest, a proper retest. Pushed back up again, made a higher high. Faked everybody out. Came all the way back down to where? Top of range and top of trend. Now, not a great trend, I'll admit it, but trend nonetheless. So this was the aggressive entry for the range traders. Aggressive entry right here, meaning that you didn't really get too much confirmation. You sort of went with, you know, micro trend, up, push, buy the pullback off of the resistance of the top of range. I waited for the buy-in right here, which is push up. Don't worry about it. Push up again. It's cool. Swing down for the retest. Pick up the retest. All right. From the retest, see, we would have been targeting the 1618, which is this guy right here. So we would pull some profits at the 1618 right there. Now, since then, we did some more stuff. So that's great. So from there, we did hit our historical support resistance level right here. And we did hit our 2618 level right here. So let's get back onto the 4-hour to see how that played out. And we were building a symmetrical triangle over here. It's not exactly enough of an up. I had to call this a bull pennant. But you can. I wouldn't, but I mean, it's fine. You can. In any event, it's a symmetrical triangle, so it's fine. Came up, closed above on the 4-hour chart, came back down, retested, right here. So that's another buy-in entry, and then push up. So we're looking for the next level over here, and we got historical support resistance 1058, and we could still target our, that should be our 3618 up there. Let's go back to the daily. Yeah, so our 3618. So we have targets at 11058 and targets at 11583, and that is also that we get over this 9668, but you want to be double dipping that target. You should have already pulled at the 2618 earlier. All right. Let me check the overall here, the global. 236. So 236 is coming right up. That's it's very interesting. All right, so global 236 is kind of a big deal, and that is this aqua line. That's that historical support resistance. So that trumps this 3618 and the 2618. So now that we know this, global, yeah. All right, so now that we know this, we're looking at 11055. All right. So 11055 is what we're looking at. We're looking to push this up to 11055, and at that point, we're going to have to reassess the trade. We're either going to end it and look for like a rebuy if trend continues, or press on, pull profits and press on. But we won't know until we get there, and that's if this holds. If this holds. On the hourly chart, we're making lower highs. Okay, we're painting another little triangle over here. So, all things considered, it doesn't look bad. So let's say we did that, just candle tops, right? And we did this. Now you're like forcing something to happen because you're out of room here. Right, so you could do something like this and watch the reaction. We're on the hourly now. You get like a little micro idea of what's happening. But that is just a small little sliver of time. Pull it back a little bit, and you're looking at, you got a higher low, a lower high, a higher low, a lower high, a higher low, break of pattern, retest, push off. All right, so I'm still playing the breakout play, and I'm pushing for 11058. So that's what we got for Wabi. Wabi. Let's get back on the daily over there. Wabi. All right, so let's go back over here one more time. Let's see what else we got. RCN had 49 up, 39 down. So just sitting around the 382. That's interesting. Via 3765, so broke the 618, pushing towards the 786. QSP still sideways, slightly bearish on the 15. 86 down from the 24 up, so 886 on a one-day move. That's interesting. What else we got over here? It's got a little pullback, EVX, right, showing a strong downtrend at 30. Right, still got an uptrend 12, and the daily. So that's interesting. That these are all worth, these are all worth your time, right? They're all worth looking up, crack the chart open, see what you see, and if it aligns with your trading style, then something to consider. Looks like WTC hasn't quite pushed this daily to slightly green yet, still slightly bearish. Sideways, slightly bearish, 11 up, 16 down for the day. Look at this guy right here. So Bat's just doing his thing. Another 11%. Lost 52 of its 11, so we'll call it 50 and 10. So up about 5% for the day. Really incredible stuff. That's nice. Look at all this. ARC. All right, ARC cruising. Another 8%, lost 7% of that 8%. I mean, what? So it's 7% up for the day. That's great. Look at that trend. ARC ETH looking good. Let's pull that up. ARC ETH. Let's take a look here. Arc ETH. Oh, what's going on with this guy? Okay. Well. Not a ton of history here, and we're just ping-ponging between these two historicals. Unfortunately, got a bit of a trend here. That is nice, but we're breaking south. We're really testing the south side of that trend. So that's something to really consider. This is starting to level off. See how the top is like, you know, kind of doing this. Kind of like straight up and then, you know. So that's something to watch out for. Massive rejection 2 times over at that 57.29 level. Good support at the 39.73 zone. Overall, you do have a little, you got a slight pattern here. I don't like doing this. I'm gonna do it, and then I'll show you why I don't like doing it. So let's say this is your pattern, right? So overall, it would have to be a symmetrical triangle, even though it's not symmetrical, but it's not ascending and it's not descending because you don't have an actual flat line top or flat line bottom. So that being said, look at this vacant space, right? So if you look at the vacant space, you say, well, there's no trading up here. You know, typically speaking, for a pattern, you want the pattern to do what it's supposed to do, which means it should do something like this. Now, whether it breaks down low, retest and push lower, or whether it breaks down high, retest and push higher, is whatever. Okay? But this is not great. You know, push down low, which is fine, but no reaction. So you sort of like bounced up a little bit, you made a lower high, came down, found support, all right, pushed up again. Now that's good. This is the move you want, right? From bottom to top, right? Come back down. You didn't come down all the way, and that's fine. You're working in it. You're getting there, but then you have this attempt. Didn't even attempt the same level again. Pushed out. Now you got middle trading, this little sideways action in the middle of the pattern, and then slowly work your way over to the end of the pattern. And that's only by, you know, default. You're just running out of room and trading. You're not doing anything. So that's why I generally won't draw this if it's like that, because there's other patterns in here that are more relevant. You know, if we were to do this right here and just say, all right, well, just as far as trend is concerned, right, we know that we have this, right? So we could say just trend wise, right, we'd be able to pull something like this. I don't want this, so let me just get rid of that. But trend is what I'm looking for. So if we were on trend and we did something like that, right? And then we took another trend line and we did something like this. Okay. So now, like, do we have a triangle? Yeah. But is it a, you know, perfect symmetrical triangle? No. But we're on a daily chart and it's more realistic. Okay. This is more what I'm talking about. You're finding a bottom, a top, a bottom, a top. This is good. And you don't have a lot of room on this one. So if you're going to trade something like this, you are going to want to head down to like a 4-hour chart or an hourly chart to get a better idea. All right, now, once you have these trend lines in place, it's far easier to do without the magnet. Once you sort of get that going. But let me put this up so that it makes a little bit more sense here. I'm gonna stick with that. Now you can break out your triangle again and line that up properly. So you could do something like that. And that's what you're looking at. Now, you're going to snap off some of these wicks, right? But we did the trend and the pattern off of body candles. So body closes. All right? And you can get rid of these if you want, or you can keep them for future trend lines. It's totally up to you. But now this I like because we come into the pattern, we drop, we push up, we find a high, push down, we find a low, push up, we find a high. This is what I would prefer to trade over the larger, not good one. So something like that, something like that, something like that, something like that. That's currently what we have. Well, and actually, here, because you closed right there. All right? But, that being said, you know, the pattern's like done already. You know what I mean? You would have liked to have drawn this like here. When you spotted that, that would have been nice. You got the lower high, you could have spotted that. That would have been all right. But now look at this on the hourly chart. It's going to look totally different. The hourly chart is going to look like, wow, okay, that's an impressive looking pattern. Or on the daily chart, you just kind of run out of room. But over here, all right, well, this is tradable. You know, and you could trade patterns. You could trade within the pattern. It's the same as trading range. So it's a range. It's just angled instead of flat, which is fine. All right? So you can see like the big dip down. Like these are the wicks. You know what I mean? These are the wicks. Like that wick on a daily is, you know, 24 of these hourly candles. So they all sort of tell you some type of story of what's going on here. But look at the way this thing trades on the hourly. All right, push up, drop, push up, drop, push up, drop. Well, that's a drop. Sideways, sideways, up, down, up, down, up, down. You know, that's crazy. This is like, it's tough to trade this kind of stuff on a shorter time frame. Much easier to trade this stuff for longer term. And by longer term, I just mean like not scalping like a 15, 30, or an hourly chart. More like intraday, like multi-day, right? 4-hour, 12-hour daily charts, something like that. But this is okay. If this comes up and does this, right, and comes back down for a nice little retest, finds support and pushes back up again, then I'm okay with this on the smaller scale. But overall, it's kind of ugly. Overall, just saying. All right. So what are we at here? Yes, 7:47. Yeah, it's probably time to head out for the day or for the night. Let's see here. I don't think I'll be back tonight. I may be. Small chance. Small chance. I got there's a lot going on. So, small chance, but we'll see what happens. Never say never, you know what I mean? But, again, tomorrow, super exciting, because this is how excited again. I'll mention it for the third time. Daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly. We're closing all of those down on 1 minute, on 4 charts. You know what I'm saying? So we hit that 7 p.m. zone Central Time. We're going to close out the daily, the weekly, the monthly, and the quarterly, and we're going to talk about all 4 of them and what they may mean for you, me, who's ever here. That's all. All right, but I do appreciate everybody coming by. Always a good time. So thank you for swinging in there. It's awesome. I'll see you guys on the exchanges. And happy trading.